Hello and welcome to Dateline New Haven on WNHH-FM, New Haven's home for community radio. I'm Paul Bass, inviting you to look behind the headlines on the stories that make our community tick. Rafael Irizarry is in the studio. He's looking to make New Haven tick. He's looking to get the Republican nomination for the 3rd U.S. Congressional District seat currently occupied for most of our lifetime by Rosa DeLauro, a Democrat. Rafael's one of 2 Republicans we know of seeking the nomination. He's here to tell us why. Good afternoon. What a pleasure to meet you earlier today, Mr. Irizarry. Welcome.
Thank you for being here. And it's a pleasure to be in this facility to try to get the Orient to tell us what's going on about history and politics.
Well, you have an interesting personal history that I'm really looking forward to delving into, as well as including Bridgeport, which everyone loves to talk about Bridgeport and politics. I'm sure you're going to have a great perspective on that. But I also want to talk to you about the issues in the 3rd Congressional District race. Today was a primary for president's primary. Did you vote today?
Yes, I vote already.
Who did you vote for today?
Well, Donald Trump.
All right. That's right. He's running as a Republican, right?
He's the only one.
and so why are you running for Congress?
Well, I'm running for Congress because this is I want to tell about history about. I came into 1984, the Bridgeport was $25.76, and at that time I was involved in politics. After that time was Governor O'Neill. He was president. He was the governor for the state, and they invited me to come to organize the community and be involved to raise the people, empower the people. So that's one of my first start. After that, 1987, I was the first Latino elector in City Council of Bridgeport.
You were the first Latino in Bridgeport?
The first Latino was so young,
yeah.
with 27 years
Because right
old.
now, when I think about it, they're in presence in Bridgeport politics, right?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
But you were Republican when you were elected.
I was Democrat.
Oh, you were Democrat.
I was
okay.
a Democrat when I was elected.
And so when did you go from Democrat to Republican?
Oh, about 7 years ago.
Okay, we'll get to that in a few minutes because I'll be very interested about why. But so you came here from Puerto Rico, you said, in 1984?
1984, sir.
So why are you running for Congress this year? Why do you want to be the congressman from this district?
Well, number one, I live in the district, number one. This is I live in Stratford because I moved to Stratford. I live in Stratford for 18 years. And I think that this is the time that we got so much mix about. We got more Latinos, we got more black people, we got the mix for the state Connecticut is increased. And also that we got the necessity that we got to put somebody in the Congress with the face of minority. And I think that be probably, if I be the first nominee for the Republican Party, be in the history, and the state of Connecticut be the first Latino running for congressman, I assume the endorsement. And I think that the reason I do this...
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, you would be the first
Latino
endorsed
in the
Latino candidate in Connecticut in a major party ticket.
Exactly. So that's grandiose, and this is very big. Because you know what? Now we got the faces in our community, because for our community is be abandoned for many, many times in politics. We got a lot of crime. We got a lot of people with a lot of independency about social service. And you know what? I think this is the time to come in with some kind of solution they tell the story about somebody. They're really coming here with no money, working hard. He made it to the top. Because you know what? This is the country for the opportunity, but you need to be working hard. You need to do what you're supposed to do, obey the law for the state, obey the law for the United States, and pay your taxes and continue being involved with the community and bring something with your culture, with your talent, with your education to make it better. Because right now I live in 45 years in the state of Connecticut. And let me tell you something. I go to Puerto Rico, travel back and forth. But this is my town. This is my home. This is when I grew up. This is when I make myself. This is when the Connecticut make myself do it here, working hard. And that's the proof, that I'm the life person. I'm the real American dream. That's what it's about.
So why Congress as opposed to state representative? Or
why the Congress? Because you know what? And the Congress is when they make the real decision about funding, about the really working with the federal program. And after that, we pass that money to the state, and the state declare, and give it different service. But if in Washington, if you don't have the leader in Washington to bring the money to the state of Connecticut, the struggle is continue to, government after government struggle with and raise
Rosa
taxes.
DeLauro is the ranking Democrat on the Appropriations Committee. She says she brings many millions of dollars back every year. Is it the wrong kind of money, or?
No. This is. Listen, I don't got nothing against Rosa. Rosa is a wonderful person, and whatever Rosa he do for the state of Connecticut is wonderful. The problem is, you know what? Be there for 32 years and represent the state of Connecticut. And the last 2 years, even though put a bill on the floor. Now you put one bill on the floor. So I think this is time to give it the opening to give it to somebody when it comes young and with more opportunity and serve well to the state of Connecticut.
So your idea is that change is important. That after someone's in for a long time, nice person, time to give somebody else a chance.
Absolutely, because you know what, the new person going with new ideas, with new leadership. You know, I think Rosa paid the debt already to the state of Connecticut. Give it to the opportunity to somebody else to bring more future and more commitment to the state of Connecticut. And I think I'm the person to do that because I got working for the state for 30 years. I got my own business and I was, my history. I want to tell my history briefly, but let me tell you, so you need to bring something different to the table. And that's the more important thing because you continue to go do the same. The leadership is about bring something new to the table. And that's what I think is, this is the time to, I believe so. Rosa retire or do something with his life because she do a wonderful thing for Connecticut. Give it the opportunity to somebody else to do better.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking to Rafael Irizarry running for the Republican nomination for the 3rd U.S. Congressional District seat. So you said you came here in '84 from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Where in Puerto Rico?
Well, I'm born in Ponce, Puerto Rico. I'm born in one of the project, the worst project in Puerto Rico. In Ponce, Puerto Rico, when I got the age at 8 years, I was abandoned in the street with my mother. My mother was the drug addict. He was mentally problems. And my father was the old man, but they don't want to deal with our family. So I came for the projects. I was
Public housing.
Public housing. So that's when after that, my mother left me in the street. And one of I lived in the street for like 2 weeks. And one of the comments for Mother Teresa bring me to the places. They got the house.
It was one of the Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa. That's the reason I love it so much because he was saved my life in that time. And I was there for like
so 2 weeks you were living in the street at 8 years old?
Yes, front to the church.
How did you survive?
Well, I asked for money. I was sleeping with the homeless people in Puerto Rico. And
what was that like at 8 years old? I mean, that's not very safe.
This is scary. This is the most scary thing that you can have in your life.
Do you still think about it? Do you remember it?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, because that comes to your heart. That's where you came from, And that's what I'm different than other people. I look the world differently. I look the people differently because where I came from. And you never forget where you came from. If you remember where you came from, you know where you're going in your life.
So you were 8 years old, 2 weeks in, someone from Mother Teresa affiliated orphanage, was it?
Yeah, there was the orphanage. It was like a little houses. The Mother Teresa opened that time, 1969, I believe so. And after that, I stayed there for a couple months, and she transferred me to the Department of Family Service in Puerto Rico to be a foster child for 2 families in Puerto Rico.
So you grew up in foster care?
I was in foster care, yes.
And this is going to get interesting because you've worked for the state with helping people. So you knew about state. So, we often hear about how state government messes up with the difficult job of foster care, or keeping people with families who might not be safe, between families together. Was it your experience that more often it's done right? Was it done right in your case? Were you brought up in good foster families?
Yes, because
we hear the horror stories.
Yeah, because in that time, the problem in Puerto Rico, in that time, there was a new program. They got the new program. And that's what they started, to try to start picking the kids for the street, try to help the people in the society to make sure they put the real together and get back to this life. But the first years, I ended with the couple family. For the one family that was very young. These people, they don't know how to raise children. So I stayed there for like 1 year. After that, I was transferred to the middle of the island, the city called Atuntas. And that was, my mother was 67 years old. And I was 9 years old when they take me. Right? And my father was 72 years old.
I mean, your foster father.
My foster parents. I love it so much. And the people was very poor, very rural, very, no money for nothing. So, but they give me the best education, the best integrity, the best honesty. that you can buy.
How long did you stay with them?
I stayed there for 9 years. After I graduated, when I graduated from high school, my father passed away. I'm going to tell my mother, Mommy, I want to go back to college because, in that time, they don't got no grant, they don't got no money. She said, we're poor, we don't got no money. So I went to the city to look for the job. And I find the job, and I brought into to the college.
In Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico.
And what brought you over here to Connecticut in 84?
Well, when I graduated, 1983, I came to Connecticut because they got family for my parents, for my second foster home. They got family here, but I never meet this family. So I say after graduate, I got them, some little bit of money. I said, let me go to the United States to make it different. Let me try something different because Puerto Rico, the economy was very disaster. It was a recession at that time. And I said, well, let me go try because you know what? Somebody said this is the last opportunity. So let me try. So I call one of my brother-in-law, and he said, I go to the United States to try to work to make it better. He said, okay, you can come. So when I came here, that gave me the opportunity. My first apartment, it was living in the basement with roach and rats because people was poor anyway.
And what kind of profession did you get into?
I get into education and politics.
Uh-huh. I know it's interesting to me that only 3 years after you moved here, only 3 years after, you became a member of the Bridgeport City Council.
Yes, indeed.
Which is a little bit like a joke now when you talk about Bridgeport because the politics is so corrupt.
Yes.
How did you get involved in politics 3 years after you got here?
Well, I remember one is the lady they call Carmen Lopez. That was my sponsor. They came to me to teach me go to the non-profit organization, to talk to race of the people and involved in different organizations, handicapped children, Puerto Rican parade, and also involved in the church. So that's where people started looking at me. That was differently. There was, I got committed for the community. And I think that's the only way that I can bring some change. And this is the only way that I can educate myself to make better. Because it's like you said, tell me who you walk, and I tell you who you are. So that's, I don't come in here for Puerto Rico to looking for, hanging with the wrong people. I come in here to make it different for myself.
But you got elected to the Bridgeport City
Council. I was elected.
And you served for 4 years?
Yeah,
no, you're 7 years.
Yeah, so the problem is, in that particular time, Tony Diaz running, that's the first candidate running the first Latino running for mayor in Bridgeport. And they asked me, Rafael, do you want to come to the ticket for the city council? I said, sure, no problem. So, sure, I will.
I don't remember Tony Diaz.
And guess what? The only person who winning the ticket was me. I said, why?
So you had a slate of candidates, and you were the only one who won.
I'm the only one.
What part of Bridgeport were you running in?
I was in 137th district, the worst of the worst.
Was that Father Panic Village?
That Father Panic Village, yeah, And let me tell you, that was a terrible. And not only that, in 1989, the city of Bridgeport declared bankruptcy.
Mayor Moran. They had a Republican mayor, Mary Moran.
Mary Moran. Yeah. And that passed to the administration for the first administration, that Joe Gannon. That was when I started my first step in politics, represent the people. And let me tell you something. When you declare bankruptcy, the people don't believe in you. The people, this is assassination, politically, economically, and everything. So I try to gather all the churches, all the people, try to, support each other. And everybody in Bridgeport is a jungle. Let me tell you, being in Bridgeport, politics is a jungle. They got all kind of animals down there because you know what? This is so difficult to
Tell me about one day that sticks out in your mind that showed you, wow, this is a jungle, the way the politics works. What's something that happened one day you can remember that made you think of that? Because
nobody get agree with the budget. Nobody get agree with the cut. Nobody get agree with to try to make it better to the city because that happened for many, many years. Everybody put the finger to everyone that this is what can happen. And the problem is a lot of people abandon Bridgeport. A lot of business get out of Bridgeport. You got more devastation and gang and drugs. And the people take over the city. And that's very difficult, when there's that kind of chaos. The same problem like we have now in 80. This is the same, you see 80 right now, and the same thing that happened in 1989 in Bridgeport. So everybody's running for whatever.
But can you remember a day when you said on the council, here's something I did that made a difference? Or here's a reason I watched something not happen because of the way politics works.
Well, I'm when I first time I'm believing God. I'm believing God no matter where I go. The first time when I went to the city council, I was the first person bending my knee in my chair. And he made the accusation that what I did that is because I'm the Christian. If the only way we can put this city together is we go to pray to God to make sure they got mercy with us. Because you know what? If you don't got no God and give a guideline to your life, you don't got nothing.
Do you remember a day when you were able to accomplish something?
Okay.
Tell me something that happened one day.
Well, I went to the radio station. I started getting tell other people to the community to start picking the garbage to the street. And one of the things I did very important, there was they got one project. I don't know if you remember the project Phoenix that came for Arizona. That's a project that was the block the street for the people coming to Bridgeport to get drugs. And that's what they bring into the city. I remember that. A lot of people accused me.
Do you remember when they put up the barriers so that you couldn't drive down the streets that the suburbanites came to? In places like Father Panic Village.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I was the person to bring that.
So
that
those
project.
were roadblocks.
That's a
so
roadblock.
that people couldn't go buy the drugs.
Not only that, we use the FBI, we use the state trooper, we use the local police to make sure that every corner of the city, they got hot spot that we need clean up. Because that's what it is. You know, the drug dealers and the people, they don't control the city. They got more good people than bad people. So
when you blocked the street, did the drug dealers just set up on another street, or how'd that work?
Well, the problem is because they block the street and they go pick up the hot spot too. So we pick up the people who sell drugs in the corner. We go to the tax for and we clean that corner too.
So the idea is they keep them on the run.
They keep it running. So keep it running. And the people say, that I was the temptation to kill me that time.
And how did it come that you stopped being on the Bridgeport City Council? Why did that happen?
Excuse me?
You did 4 terms, it sounds like, as on the council, or 2 4-year terms, I guess.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Why did you stop being on the council?
Well, I stopped because the problem is I see after they start working for the city and do everything in the community, I give you opportunity to all the people to come to the city council, and I encourage the leadership for other people to come in and, be part of the city
like
council.
You're saying now with Rosa DeLauro that there's make room for new leadership.
Exactly.
To change. We're talking to Rafael Irizarry, who's running for the Republican nomination for Congress in the 3rd U.S. Congressional District here in Dateline, New Haven at WNHH-FM. So you worked for 30 years for the state government in the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. Were you a counselor all those 30 years?
I was a counselor and mental health.
So tell me, what did you do and how did you get into that?
Listen, I think God put me in that place to try to understand where I came from and what is the problem with my family. And that particular time, you working with people who got schizophrenic, drug addict, all kind of homeless people, the worst of the worst. But if you don't got no passion to try to help the people, you work in the wrong place.
It's a hard job because you probably at the end of the day, you've heard horrible things all day. And sometimes someone goes back and you don't get them off drugs.
Absolutely.
How did you do it? What did you learn?
Well, I learned to, be passionate in my job, what I like it. And also the state of Connecticut pay good money to work. This is nothing. You work for the state, you got one of the best salary in the industry. And also you got the best benefit. So I stay there because I got good salary and good benefit. But the job that you do is something very important because you open bridges, you help people to try to make their life different. It's like being in politics, but you provide service.
Tell me about somebody you helped.
Somebody helped. I help most of the young people when they try to find an apartment for them, find a job for them, put in college. And today, these people work for the state.
So there are people you helped before now.
And then people say, I'm here because it was Rafael. I say, no, you're here because it was you.
And was it mostly young people you worked with?
Yes, mostly young people, that's
how young?
Well, we started young, 17 to 25.
And that was your target?
And that was my target.
And how much of it was drug addiction?
About, that one is probably like 2%, 3%. Yeah, 2%.
2%.
2%, 3% depends.
So most people were not having substance abuse.
Well, the young people, they have different kind of problems. No family coming from broke, depression, schizophrenic. Most of them they got alcohol problems, but drugs.
Well, alcohol, substances.
Substances, yeah. So, but
You said did have something you said with remembering what happened to your mom or your birth mother? You said had a drug problem.
Yeah, my mother was in the street for many years, and that was because when when I went to college, I see my mother still in the street. I tried to save her, and I talked to different people in the government to make sure they give her the service that she provided. So that's like a son. That's a breaking heart. You know what I mean? Because my mother, they don't want to get out of the street. They want to be continued, in this kind of life. But what can I do?
I've always wrestled with that because we've all had people we know who struggle with that. To what extent can the counselor or the son help? And to some extent, does the person need to have something on their own that makes them decide to accept the help?
Well, absolutely. If the person,
No, I'm wondering. I mean, that's a question.
No. The question is, if the people know accept they got the problem, you can help them. They need to accept it, and they need to move forward to say, okay, I got a problem. If not, that's like you talking to the wall. No matter what to do with them, you continue to help them until you break the circle. But also, you need to get a good environment around them. You need to provide housing. You need to provide service. You provide the counseling with them. They make sure the guideline them. They make sure they be, on the path. They do the right thing.
So you spent 30 years at DEMIS, Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. You retired?
Yes, indeed.
And now you have your own small business.
Yes.
What is that business?
Well, I work. I got my own business doing delivery. This is my company. Do delivery, anything, whatever.
What kind of delivery?
Yeah, anything. Except drugs and problems.
Gotta watch out for those roadblocks.
Yeah, I know. No, I check everything.
How many people work for you?
No, so far only me. I don't got no.
So you deliver parts to factories or food?
Yeah. Whatever the people call me to provide delivery, I do. I don't got no. I don't got no guidelines and no more than 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. No more. I can lift it no more than 100 pounds.
So what did you deliver today?
No, I don't work today. I think a day
or tomorrow.
I was sick yesterday.
Or yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday I delivered. The other day the lady called me to pick up the dog to bring it to the Stanford.
Dog.
The dog died, and he said, Rafael, that you can bring me the dog to the Stanford to the cremation. I said, you come with me, it's no problem. So that's what happened,
Did the dog go in the trunk or the back seat?
No, they go in I got the van. I got the van, put in, very respectfully. Because I got animals too. So I love
You lifted
animals.
the dog, or was there in a crate?
Yeah, in the back of the van.
Okay.
Listen, I do anything. You know what I mean? This is United States. You need to be working hard no matter what.
And then you moved to Stratford.
Yeah, about 18 years ago.
What was the reason for that?
Well, when Gani was incarcerated in 1992, 1993, me and my wife decided to say, you know what?
I thought it was 2002 when he was incarcerated again.
That was, okay, when Gani went to incarcerate, that's when I decided to go out of the city. I got my properties in the city, and my wife said, we want to sell this because this city is going down. And I said, okay, we sell the houses and we move to Stratford.
How do you like Stratford?
I love Stratford. Nice.
What do you like about it?
It's quiet. It's a good town. It's got a lot of good, decent people. The mayor right now is doing excellent.
They have the best brewery. Two Roads.
What do you mean?
Two Roads Brewery, isn't that?
Oh
Stratford?
yeah, they got the new one.
That's our favorite beer.
Oh yeah,
that's IPA.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. They came and you just do good.
So when did you become a Republican and why?
Well, listen, the problem is about 7 years ago. I thinking to continue to do the service to the state of Connecticut, and I see the Democrat Party. They don't got the opportunity because they got Rosa there. And this is the chain of command. They don't want to change the command. This the Democrat Party in the last 30 years just changed so much about to go too much to the left. To create, more to the abortion, to create the policy for more transgender and lesbian, all that kind of, what I mean? and they
I mean,
changed.
gay rights.
Yeah, the gays' rights.
So you're against that?
Yeah, no, against that. But my belief, I don't, I respect everybody. I don't have no problem with any transgender or any problem. I don't got no problem with that because when I was working for the state of Connecticut, I got the department that was directly, and they got the new program, and I started that program with them. So I don't got phobic about lesbian. No, don't get twisted. But the problem is my ability, my religion, what I believe, whatever. This is individual. So if you want to live that kind of life, fine with me. But don't post me something that I don't like it. I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. But I respect them and I helping them and
But overall, you feel the Democratic Party went too far to the
too
left.
far to the left.
So now let's talk, because I noticed you bring up some issues. One of them is crime.
Yeah.
Would that be an example of an issue you feel they went too far to the left on?
Yeah, and also listen.
Tell me about that and what you stand for with crime.
Okay, I believe if you come into this country and you commit a crime, this is the law to the land. And I think you're supposed to be not punished, but you're supposed to be in the way that you're supposed to be. If you do something wrong, you need to pay for that. And the problem is now the Democrats change completely. They give you a free will, and they try to even they empower even the police. The police, they even go against the police. Now they try to unfund the police. The police bringing security. That's the reason I think the crime is increased so much. Because when you take away the power for the people represent the security, and the people represent the safety for the community, the people for working in the police department say, you know what, why I do this kind of job?
So what would you do as a congressman to help fight crime?
Well, I'll be funding much more. I funding more, bringing more money to the police department. I'm bringing more tools for the police department, and also I create more education, more training, more psychological training for these people, for the people working in this particular force, because the people, they understand. In the end of the day, these people is a human being. Me and you, the same that human being, and people thinking the police, but these people is a human being like me and you. We need to help them, So that's what that's the difference between the Democrat people. Now to try to empower the police. How is this happening?
And you also talk about tackling inflation. What would you do differently on inflation from what the government is doing now?
Well, the problem is the state of Connecticut is supposed to be open more for a small business. We got big corporation. Okay, it's good to bring a big corporation. Remember, the big corporation, they destroy sometimes the small business. And they give you a big, large check, the incentive for the people coming to the Connecticut. And then as the small business, the people for the community, they struggle to even pay the payroll or even pay the bill, the electricity bill, the rent, the taxes. So we need to help more the small business, because this is the people.
So how would you do that as a?
Well, I think we need to create programs. We need to create programs to people apply, and they get some kind of gas line to make sure that people take advantage to whatever whatever they grant.
So one criticism of the Biden administration is they spent too much money to help small business with the second round of funding after the pandemic, and that drove up inflation, that a lot of people cheated on the program. So one criticism was inflation happened because it got worse because of more government programs for small business.
Well, the problem is, listen, once you create the program, you need to be monitored. You need to put the monitor. If you don't put the monitor, we got so many programs to the state of Connecticut, they're wasting so much money. And different kind of programs, let me tell you something, they don't worth a penny. But if you put somebody you create a program, and you create the person to the Department of Accountability, that make sure that money go to direct for that specific service, I think we just a big success. Because every penny that you invest in the community, they give it back triple. Mm-hmm. But the problem is we don't monitor. We give it a blank check and blank check and blank check. Is guess what? We don't measure the result. We need to measure the result. This program working or not working, and we try to increase or eliminate. But we don't continue with the same program for 20, 30 years. They don't do nothing. That's the waste of money.
We're talking to Rafael Irizarry, candidate for Congress for the Republican nomination for Congress in New Haven's 3rd U.S. Congressional District. You know, you talked about you spent a whole career in mental health and substance abuse services for the state. Any thoughts from what you learned in that job that you could bring to being a congressman? Is there something you would propose or a way you would vote that would draw on your experience, something you learned doing that work?
Listen, we got a lot of problems. We got a lot of people down there, a lot of broken houses, a lot of broken families. And we need to help the people that really want to be helped. You know, if you're interested because you're coming for the broken home and you a foster parent or you a foster child, and somebody give you the opportunity to you take advantage for that opportunity. Because the people invest time and money. I think we need to understand that we need to put the program when the people really want to make a change. It's the people that don't want to make a change, don't come in and waste your time.
Homelessness is growing. A lot of it, not all of it, is driven either by lack of affordable housing, the fentanyl, opioid addiction crisis is having a factor. Have you any thoughts something the government is not doing on housing or opioid addiction that you could do if you were in there?
Yes, listen, the problem is with the homeless particularly. We have a problem with, we have a drug addiction. Number one, we got a problem with mentally problems. So, and also the homeless people, they don't want to be admitted, and they don't want to give it to admit that they have the problems. That's the reason they live in the street, because they don't want to be in program.
And what about people who can't, like, it's not as much in Connecticut necessarily as some other states I was reading this morning, where people have jobs and they just can't afford a place to live. The rents have gotten so high.
Well, we're supposed to be help the people that can't afford it. Definitely, we need to look into the spectrum that we can put the money where the really needy is. You know, we don't want to give you a blank check, any proposal to say, Rafael, I'm the congressman, Rafael, we need $2 billion to fund the mental program that we got. I put the bill. I can dress the bill to say, okay, this is the bill, and we divided the bills in different parts. You know, and that's what it is. Because the problem is, if you don't classify the issue and you don't come in with the solution, so you don't got the issue, you have a problem.
And then you talked earlier, I wanted to ask you about immigration. Which party's approach to immigration are you more in favor of?
What party immigration? Well,
or what would you do about immigration?
Oh, listen, the problem, immigration is out of control. It's out of control. Because the problem is this is the nation where 90% is immigrants. Everybody coming here is immigrant. But the problem is we need to bring a good policy about the people coming here and try to help them to make sure that person, they're coming here for the right reason. If you're coming here to sell drugs or create problems or try to do something wrong to this nation, you're supposed to be out of here. Out of here. We don't need that kind of people here. We need the people coming here to working, to pay taxes, and we give you the opportunity to these people to give you the papers. Because you know what? We got good, decent people out there in other nations. They want to looking for the opportunity. The same way when I came here. We got good people. Believe me, the problem is they're always looking for the people for the got problems. This, no, but they got people. The problem is the way this administration open the door and let everybody come. The problem is we need to monitor who's here in the United States and why was the reason you come from here. After that, so we can work in with you, we can help you, we can find a job, we can give you a paper, you can pay the taxes, and also, if you continue to do good, when 10 years, we give you the visa, we give you the citizenship, and you be a successful citizen. Because you know what? This is the immigrant. This is the land for the immigrant. Nobody can say, but the problem is they open the door and let everybody come like this is a free land. So this is not a free land. This is not a free land. We pay every penny. I'll be paying every penny. I'll be working all my life in this place. you know? And not only that, now the immigrant coming, they want food stamp, they want housing, they want this, they want check, they want... Listen, when I came here, I don't got nothing. Before you come in here, you demanding what they deserve, start do something positive.
So you're saying you would let people in and make sure they're doing right, not crimes, come for the right reason, and not give them assistance like food stamp and housing from the government?
Well, the people that come in here, they're really coming, with the reason.
Or would you give them food stamps and housing when they come?
Well, I give you some kind of that system, temporary, because this don't mean permanent. Because some people, they want that system permanent for 5-10 years. No, I give you the friend time. He said, listen, in 3 years or 2 years, if you don't find the job and you don't go to school and you don't learn the English and you don't do things we're supposed to do, you know what? We package you and we send you back with the place you belong to.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can continue to support people here. We don't want to do nothing. That's a waste of money. Our resource. That we can spend that money on the people that really want to do something different.
We're talking to Rafael Irizarry, who's running for Congress from the 3rd District, U.S. Congressional District. Foreign policy is another issue that you'll be dealing with if you're elected to Congress.
Amen.
What about, there's a divide in your party right now about Ukraine. Half the people there in Congress want to continue supporting Ukraine in the fight against Russia's invasion, and half do not want to continue funding it. Where would you stand on that?
Well, we need to have some limits. We need to have some limits, some time limits. And we need to look into, evaluate the progress, the money that we send there, and who monitor the money, who do things. Because the problem, we can continue to send a blank check, and somebody take it. Listen, if you send the money to the corruption country, that money be ended knowing the people that really need help. That ended in the wrong end of the people that really want to do something bad.
Would you continue aid? Would you vote, if you were in Congress now, would you vote with the Republicans who want to end aid or continue aid?
To end, because we got a friend time. I can tell, listen, in 5 years, on 4 years, this is continue, forget it. Don't count with us. Because, we need to fix the road. We need to put the money in education. We need to take care of the house first. Mm-hmm. We need to take care of your house first before you give it something to somebody else.
And then Gaza is another issue, although Republican is united on it, but some Democrats are against continued aid to the Israeli government for the war in Gaza. Where would you vote on that?
Wow, man. Let me tell you something. I'm very, very, I love the Jewish. I know because I love the Jews. And maybe I got some blood in my body. They're probably Jewish too. But let me tell you something. If you do something wrong for Israel, this is the city, the nation be protected by God. If people don't want to believe that, that's fine. Let me tell you something. You believe whatever you want to believe. But you know what? That's the reason the United States is so prosperous, so wonderful, because this nation, it was founded in God principles. And the people, most of the people forgot, most of the politics forgot about that. Before we pray in the school, now we don't do that kind of stuff. We think it's some kind of garbage coming from somewhere, so somebody says something. But let me tell you something. If you try to attack, or you continue to attack, I want to be support to my last drop for my blood. I support Israel. And whenever I attack Israel, he attack me personally. I attack this nation personally. Because you know what? Israel is a good people. These people, they working hard. They deserve what they got because they're working all his life in the history. And you don't got no right to try to kill them or do something bad to them because they don't do that. If you go into my house to try to kill my family, you know what? I go back to you. I can do the same to you. And don't say I'm bad. That's respect. And that's what the people, they don't look into the history about the culture for the people. They think you coming today and you can think you take away for everything and you take your family and you take your neighbor and you think this is right. This is not. We living in the world where they got law and we got God. And if people, they don't believe that. That's the problem. But it's not my problem about that.
Okay. And then you talked about how Latinos are the fastest growing population group in the state. I think it was 6 years ago that Rosa had a Latino Republican opponent.
Yeah.
Was I correct at the beginning of the show? You were saying that you think it's important for more Latinos to be running for office to represent the fastest growing population group in the state?
Yeah, this is very important that the Latino community to make it wake up because we are forced. We multiply, we bring a lot of things to the economy, we growing. This is good to we have more Latino, more leadership coming to be involved in politics. Because you know what? Maybe in 5 or 10 more years, our population will be grow. And the problem is not because we got growth, we got a lot of necessity. We got a lot of issues. Only the people that can understand this own culture, what is the problem? Because I can talk about the black people if I don't live in the black neighborhood. You can talk about the Hispanic if you don't go the culture for the Hispanic people. You don't go to the culture for the Jewish people because you don't live in the neighborhood with the Jewish people. You need to be respect that. So that's the reason we need more leadership, more people in the Hispanic community to represent the best history for that particular community.
Is that sort of what you were thinking back in the 80s when you ran for Bridgeport City Council?
Absolutely. That's the necessity because if we don't got nobody represent us, the people they don't understand what is our problems. Because all the people, the first time the Irish came to the United States, the second was the Italian. Now there was the black. Now there was Hispanic. That's like the train. We got the train that we need to follow. That's what's happening.
And then there's another Republican, Michael Massey, who's running. He's African American. How do you distinguish yourself from him in terms of who should get the nomination?
Well, this guy, I don't discourage anybody. Listen, I respect everybody.
That's what he said about you. Yeah.
I respect.
He said you're a nice guy. Everybody go for it.
You know what? Whatever the different I bring to the table, that's what I bring. I'm here with my merits. I'm not here to try to talk back about roles now. I don't hear talk about any other candidate or any other person. I'm here because I want to make a change. I want to make a leader. I'm the leader. And the leader show the path where you doing. They tell you what to do and he do it. The leader do it first. So I need to move forward to running and tell the people this is what we're supposed to do. We do it. And that's the reason I'm running. I'm not running because I want to be another title or because I'm retired. I got my own business. I can be home, play golf, do anything. But look at it, because I want something changed in the community, something changed for the state of Connecticut. And I worked 30 years for the state of Connecticut. Let me tell you something. I'm very grateful that I'm retired because the people of state of Connecticut pay my taxes, and I continue to working with them after the day I die.
Well, what a pleasure it's been to meet you today. I really enjoyed chatting with you. Loved hearing your story.
Yeah, thank you.
And I wish you luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you.
Rafael Irizarry, candidate for the Republican nomination.
Thank you.
For the 3rd U.S. Congressional District seat. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Harry Droz, the #1 station manager anywhere in the radio multiverse. We're going to take it out with the Afro-Semitic Experience performing I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free from the group CD A Plea for Peace. This is Paul Bass inviting you to fly free with us all day and all night long at WNHH, New Haven's home for community radio.